Hello and welcome back in this very awesome and very cool actually requested video. Like possibly everyone knows the LS engine. I mean everyone knows and see cars that has been LS swapped, or everyone knows the Corvette, the Camaro, and every possible high performance Chevy car ever fitted with this massive engine, and everyone loves a beautifully engineered and beautifully sounded V8, especially this one, the LS7. And if you are wondering why people and car enthusiasts love this engine so much, because it's a massive engine. It's a 7-liter V8 engine, one of the classics and the most modern V8 engines in these days. Yes, classic and modern at the same time, because the LS engine, it's not a modern engine, it's a classic engine, and Chevrolet brought it up to date with the direct fuel injection and other technologies like variable valve timing and more. So to make this absolute beast possible, we have to go all over the specs. But before we go all over the specs, I would love to remind you guys, please, if you enjoy the video, remember to hit that like button. If you are new to the channel, get subscribed. If you want to share the video, it's okay, you can share the video. And if you want to request a video or request a custom engine or a replica of an engine or a custom car, I will tell you in the end of the video how to do it. Alright, so this is actually a requested video by Mr. Edwin. Mr. Edwin, yes, Big Ed. So he requested this. He actually did not request a stock LS7, no. He requested something else, but made it specifically to an LS7. But before we get into the requested video, we need to make a replica, or even a close replica, of the famous legendary LS7 engine. Well, if I made any mistake in the video, I would love to if you can guys tell me in the comment section below, because like I've searched online, Chevrolet, thankfully Chevrolet themselves provided like most of the specs for this engine, but a tiny little point and a tiny little option I wasn't really sure about. Hopefully I made it correctly, maybe not, but who knows, maybe it's correct. So let's start with the specs here. We have a V-shaped 90 degrees 8-cylinder engine, aluminum block material. We have a 104.8mm on the bore, 101.6mm on the stroke width, and as you can see, the total size of this engine, or the total capacity, is 7011 cc engine, or a 7-liter V8 engine. We have push rods, 2 valves per cylinder, aluminum head material, of course no VVL. We have forged steel crankshaft, and yes, lightweight titanium connecting rods. And well, the pistons, this was a little problem. According to Chevrolet.com, the company that made this engine, they are using, and this is actually weird, forged steel crankshaft, lightweight titanium connecting rods, which is very good for a high revving engine, but the pistons are hyper, whatever this cast, I'm gonna call it hyper cast. So yeah, hypercast pistons, and this is actually not very good option for a high revving engine. As you can see, max RPM from forged to hypercast piston, the max RPM will drop. We have a minus mark here on the max RPM. And actually hypercast, this is a very good option for a low emission engines. If you want to kill as much emissions as possible, so you can burn fuel cleanly and neatly, you can choose this option. But for a high revving engine, well, it's not possible. And according to Chevrolet, the max RPM for this engine is 7100 RPM for this engine. But with hypercast pistons, with even plus 15 quality, and hypercast pistons, the max RPM for this engine is only 6500. More than 6500, the engine will start to destroy itself. I genuinely don't know how Chevrolet pulled it off with hypercast pistons and 7100 RPM, but of course real life is much different from this automation game. So yeah, to make the engine live without exploding with 7000 RPM, 7100, I really had to go with forged pistons instead of hypercast pistons. So you have to forgive me here, because automation developers made the hypercast piston very weak when you compare to forged pistons. So I had to choose it with +2 quality. 11.0 to 1 is the compression ratio, the official compression ratio for this engine. 67 on the cam profile. Variable valve timing, yes, they used variable valve timing on this engine. +9 quality, because as I mentioned before in my previous pushrod V8 videos, pushrod, as you can see, the pushrod 2 valves per cylinder option is very weak in automation game in this version, in this Unreal version. In the previous key version, there was an option here called modern overhead valve, which was absolutely like a dream. I mean, it will make the engine to produce so much power, so much torque with a very high RPM. But unfortunately, the pushrods 2 valves per cylinder, this option here it's a very classic old school one. It's basically it's rubbish. It's really rubbish. You have to push, if you want to use it with a high revving engine, you need to push the quality so much, and it will cost a lot of money to make it, and it will cost a lot of engineering time and production units to make it, which is useless. I mean, if you can go with single overhead cam or a direct acting overhead cam, it's absolutely, or it's better in every single way when you compare it to regular push rods. And I really wish that if they can bring back the modern overhead valve, so we can make these LS engines with, of course, with low cost and low quality, so I can so they can be affordable and cheap, and so I can use them in production cars, because this engine will cost so much money and so much time to be produced, and that's why, you know, no, it's not ideal for a production car, unlike real life, and they should fix that, the automation developers. So let's move on. It's naturally aspirated, of course, and yes, this is the point that I was worried about. I mean, I've searched online, and I don't know, because lately LS engines, like most of them, uses direct fuel injection, and this LS7, actually, I don't know if this engine uses EFI or DFI. I'm really terrified about this point, because I genuinely, I'm not an LS enthusiast, and I don't know. So basically, because it's 2018, I went with direct fuel injection, same as the latest LS V8 engine used in like the Chevrolet Tahoe or GMC or whatever. They use direct fuel injection, so I went with it. I don't know if it's correct or not. If it's not correct, tell me in the comment section, and please forgive me for that, because I'm not really an LS enthusiast, as I mentioned. But it looks absolutely good, actually. If you look at the intake manifold, it looks very similar to the real LS intake manifold, so no harm, no foul, right? Single throttle body, as you can see, like the real engine, standard intake manifold. Because with performance intake manifold, if you are wondering why I did not go with performance, because it will change the shape of the intake manifold, and no, I don't want to change the shape of it. I want to keep it LS looking intake manifold, so yeah, I kept it standard. Premium 95 octane. According to Chevrolet, you have to put premium fuel into any car equipped with this engine to make it run smoothly without any knocking. 13.5 is the air-fuel ratio. 100 maxed out ignition timing. Well, it's not like the real life, but in automation game I had to push it that much. 7100 is the official RPM limit, +3 quality on the fuel system. And yes, basically every possible LS engine uses a short cast headers, basically regular casted headers, actually good casted headers. I've never actually seen a good short cast headers that comes stock on an engine with high flow already from the factory, and that's really awesome. But this LS7 uses tubular, I don't know, stainless steel, aluminum, whatever the material is, but it uses tubular instead of short cast headers. Dual exhaust pipes, 2.5-inch exhaust diameter, high flow 3-way catalytic converter, and also the catalytic converter. I think the original engine comes with regular 3-way catalytic converter, but to reach the correct power and torque figures, I had to go with high flow 3-way catalytic converters. No first muffler, reverse flow second muffler to keep it quiet, with bypass valve, so you can push the button, or when it reaches a certain RPM, these valves will open and you will have like a straight pipe sound. And of course, yeah, the quality is too much, +12 quality. Well, again, to make the correct power and torque figures, because of these stupid pushrod calculation values in automation game here, I had to push like basically everything to +3, +12, +9 qualities to make the power and torque figures like the real engine. They should really fix the calculation number for the regular push rods. Like, I really wish, like, if automation developers, if they don't want to put like if they don't want to put this option here, if they don't want to bring it back, the modern overhead valve, I really wish that if they want to keep this option here without any changing, at least they should make, when you increase the years, like, if you are making pushrod engine in 1970, yes, well, it's very obvious it will be rubbish. I mean, the technologies in the 70s are not like 2018 these days. So they should make when you set the time to 2018, they should make the pushrod to act and to perform like real 2018 pushrod engines. I mean, you can see Corvette engines, especially the latest one, the latest Corvette. I mean, how much horsepower it's producing? What, 650, 700 horsepower? Yes, you get the point. It's very powerful with a supercharger, of course, but you get the point. With time, when you increase time, they should increase the quality and the power output, the balance, the everything. They should increase basically every possible calculations for this push rods. They should increase it to 2018, and they should make an upgrade for it, because like right now, if I return everything to zero quality, the engine will produce only 350 horsepower. That's it. And to make it producing 505 horsepower, well, that was a challenge. Yeah. So you get the point. I really wish from automation developers to fix that as quick as possible. So this is the final result for 505 horsepower at 6,600 RPM, 481 pound-feet of torque, same numbers as with the real engines. Reliability is very high, of course, because basically everything is on plus 12, plus 9 quality, whatever. So reliability is very high. Service cost is very good. The octane, well, I'm not using all of it. If I want to use all of it, maybe I will put more high compression pistons. Well, emissions, of course, because of the push rods. Also, the emissions in the push rods are very high. I mean, with high flow radial catalytic converter and direct fuel injection, basically these two options will reduce emissions by so much. But unfortunately, the push rods are killing the engine with more emissions because they are very old school in the automation game. Well, the exhaust is quiet and sporty at the same time, which is very good. Throttle response is very good actually for a single throttle body. Smoothness, well, it's high performance engine, 55 points is very good. Production units and engineering time, as I mentioned, all of this, I mean, they are very high because of the high quality components. If they can fix the push rods, you can return everything to zero quality or even +1 quality, and this will drop to 70, 80 maximum. You can make the engine and sell it normally. But this way, no, this is not efficient at all, but this is a one-time shot. So let's fire up this stock as possible Chevrolet LS7. As you can hear, these are the titanium connecting rods in their absolute glory. Alright, so this is the stock LS7. Well, just excuse me a little bit because I like this song. Alright, so the requested video was not the stock V8 engine, not the stock LS7, no, a high revving V8 engine, and this is a challenge. I actually didn't make one. I'm gonna make it with you right now, step by step. So let's save this absolute beast, 505 horsepower. Alright, and let's make another clone of it, and well, start building it to rev as high as possible. And as I received in the requested video, put everything to plus 15 quality. What is it? Chevrolet LS7. Here we go. Clone. Here we go. There's a clone. Perfect. So as you can see, everything basically is still the same, but these are locked. Which is a problem, because I really... Alright, so no. Let's go back, because before I go with the high revving engine, let's delete this one. Yes, because he told me before I put everything to plus 15 quality. What did I press? Oh my god, I'm making a mess here. He told me before I go with plus 15 quality everything, I should switch, which is really crazy. I mean, I told him in the Snapchat group that because he told me to switch from push rods to single overhead cam, and I told him, well, it's impossible because you have to change the cylinder, you have to change the engine block to a single overhead cam cylinder block. But he told me to just switch it to a single overhead cam and see like the result, what will change in power and torque. Alright, so we have push rods 2 valves per cylinder. I'm gonna switch it to overhead cam, also 2 valves per cylinder, to see what's what. Ready? Remember, 481 pound-feet of torque, 505 horsepower, and ooh, check out the different result. We are still using the 2 valves per cylinder. That's single overhead cam shaft instead of push rods. And check out the power, from 505 horsepower to 562 horsepower. That's like extra 55. No, it's extra 50, whatever, 57 horsepower, whatever. So extra 50 horsepower. That's very good. And the torque used to be 481 pound-feet of torque. Now it's 503. So it's like extra 22 pound-feet of torque. That's very good also. I mean, you see the difference. You see the difference here. So let's go back to push rods, as you can see, and now we can save the engine as a stock as possible engine, and now we can make a clone. Alright, here's the clone, and now let's bolt plus 15 quality parts to it and make it rev to the moon. So basically, if you want a high revving engine, as you can see, I'm gonna keep the same crankshaft, lightweight titanium connecting rods, and I'm gonna switch to lightweight forged pistons. Well, plus 15 quality means... Alright, so he told me plus 15 quality, I'm gonna go with plus 15 quality parts. And alright, he told me he wants also 13.0 to 1 compression ratio, and that means switching to ultimate fuel. Let me go over the requested video so I can quote it for you guys. He told me the LS7 would have a plus 15 quality, all the timing, best exhaust and intake, high octane is needed, biggest exhaust, maybe 13.1 compression ratio, and cross-plane crankshaft. Of course, cross-plane crankshaft, my friend. Throttle per cylinder, etc., all good stuff. Okay, so let's get to it. Throttle per cylinder, racing intake manifold. Alright, best ignition. Let's go with 8000 RPM limit for the start. Racing tubular headers. Well, not yet. Alright, here we go. Plus 15 quality here, plus 15 quality over there, plus 15 quality here. And what we need here is, well, 13.0 to 1. This is actually a huge step. Alright, 13. Alright, more fuel in. 13.1 to 1. Alright, here you go, 13.1 to 1 compression ratio. How about the, well, as you can see, more camshaft profile means less torque, a lot less torque. And yes, increasing the camshaft profile means high revving engine or high peak power, but we are losing power actually. I want the power to peak at 7500, not less, like this, 96. We can push the compression ratio a little bit, 13.5 to 1. Well, it's a crazy engine, more than 8200. I mean, right now we are not peaking nearly clear, or nearly to 8000 RPM. No exhausts, no catalytic converters. There you go. I mean, anything else we can do? Not much actually. Alright, so let's push the fuel a little bit in till it loses power like so, which is 12.0, more compression ratio, 14.0 to 1. Well, that's pretty plenty actually. So check the exhaust system. I really want 500 pound-feet of torque. I really do want 500 pound-feet of torque, but increasing the fuel won't actually do. Oh, here we go. If I want the power to peak at 7600, I will drop it to 660 horsepower. 14.021. Alright, so 660. And if you're wondering why I made the engine to lose a little bit more power and a little bit more torque, because I want the power to peak at 7600. I hate an empty range in the graph here, in the power band. I hate when it peaks so early and the RPM is so late. I hate this empty graph here, this empty area. So yeah, I'm gonna try to eliminate. I try to eliminate it as much as possible. So the engine is peaking the power is peaking at 7600. I mean, the engine can get, if I want it to get more powerful, I can make it go powerful, but I want the RPM as well. And this is how it looks. just wow. I love the idling sound. The engine idles so perfect. Wow, I love it. I love this engine sound so much. With the racing camshaft, the open pipe exhaust system, no air filters, just racing intake manifold. The engine sounds absolutely mean. Wow. Reliability, well, of course, because everything is on plus 15 quality, and I mean, because we have used racing intake manifold, the reliability should drop to the ground. But since everything is plus 15 quality, the engine is extremely reliable. And well, fuel economy, it's a racing engine, no one cares. We are using nearly all of the octane. The emissions are actually the emissions are very low because remember we don't have any catalytic converters, and 300 points only for emissions without catalytic converters, and that's very good actually. Well, noise, because plus 15 quality exhaust system, let me show you something. Because plus 15 quality exhaust system, the loudness value of this engine will actually decrease. The engine will become quiet. So basically, if you can, as you can see, if I decrease the quality, yes, I know we will be losing power because of a rubbish exhaust system. But if we go, look, check this out, minus 15 quality, we will have 118 loudness value, and I want it to work. I genuinely want this exhaust to work. So here we go, 648 horsepower, because bigger exhaust system, 123 points. So the exhaust should be absolutely, I mean, crap, yes, very crappy, and we can actually push more compression ratio in if I want to, like so, but we need, alright, here we go. Alright, so more compression ratio in, it's now 14.4 to 1, but we have a crappy exhaust system, so the engine should sound like brutal. Ready, steady, hope. I really hope that the sound will change. Ho, ho, ho. Oh my god, my ears. Rest in peace, headphones. Oh my god, my ears are just bleeding. Wow. Wow, just wow. I mean, for a racing engine, I don't care if this exhaust will make everyone angry, if it will make everyone deaf around it. I don't care. But 123 points. Oh my god. Oh my god. My ears. When I first started the engine, I mean, the headphones was not at maximum sound, but yes, let's say medium, like 50, and yes, my ears are doing like this, like that, like this. What an absolute beast. So it's up to you. So now you know the difference between in the quality for the exhaust system alone. If you want a high a very loud exhaust system. Just decrease the quality to the ground, make it a little bit bigger, and off you go. No mufflers. You will make everyone deaf around this engine. If you want more power, more precision, even without any mufflers, you can make it quiet with increasing the quality. So it's your choice, my friend. So this is the requested video. Then we made an original engine, an original LS7. We have shown the difference between, of course, the single overhead camshaft and push rods, even with both of them on 2 valves per cylinder, which is really weird. I mean, because it will not happen in real life. No one can switch from push rod to overhead camshaft. And yes, right now we have made it an LS7 with everything on plus 15 quality, with of course a high revving RPM, like 8000 RPM, with a quiet exhaust system and a massively monster, like a giant monster exhaust system that has blown my headphone away. And yeah, so thank you so much guys for watching. Please, if you enjoyed the video, and I enjoyed it so much, I really had fun. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, get subscribed, share the video if you want to share it, and to request a video, as I mentioned when I first started recording this video, if you want to request a custom engine or a replica or any kind of engine or a custom car, you can add my Snapchat. It's Lord Bas94, Lord BAS94, so I can add you on the channel group, so you can request a video over there, or you can go to my Patreon page so you can support the channel, or you can write your request over there. So thank you so much guys for watching. I'm gonna see with more amazing videos like this one, and even more amazing videos more than this one, and very soon. So thank you so much for watching, and have a happy day or happy evening or happy night, whatever the time that you are watching this video, and goodbye for now, my friends.